Hey, Punktagoth here with Spore Creature Creator Tutorial. This one's my first one, and I hope to give more. Today, this one's about mouth versatility and all the different things that you can do with mouths in Spore. All I've got right now is just a regular circle or a sphere, just for the sake of demonstration, to give you some good easy points. I love mouths in Spore because they're so unique, and you can switch them around and do so much with them. It's like your own personal toolbox. So I'm just gonna grab a basic mouth and put it on the circle. And when you put on a mouth, some of you probably already know this, you get 4 select options. You get your length, you have your angles, your weight distribution, and your width. I like playing with the width a little bit to give sort of different looks to the face of a creature, because the mouth is a really big, is probably the biggest key to making a face. And the fatter, and with the angle adjustment, it helps with the direction of the head as well, for your taller creatures or your shorter creatures for that matter. The weight distribution is really cool, especially if you play around with it and get it just right. You can get some really creative looks, especially with the combination of all these. The higher the weight is in the head, it's easier for you to place eyes. Now the length increase is what I think is the fright factor, is what I'm gonna call it. But and we're just gonna have the basic mouth here. And the good thing about mouths in Spore is that they're so versatile, and there's hardly any limitations, especially when you want to break them apart and put them in different places, because that's another good thing. There's hardly any restrictions in Spore. That's what's amazing. So I'm gonna start by taking the width down a little bit and dropping it to accommodate the next addition that we're gonna have. Is mandibles. You can do this. You can layer mouths, and I like doing this especially with mandibles and a basic mouth. Especially when you put it into the textures area and the paint mode, it looks really good. And the combined mating calls and roars and things like that. So we're back here, and I'm gonna bring up the neck a little bit to show you the next part of the tutorial. I'm gonna take off both of these pieces because we're gonna move on from mouths to something a little more complex and I think more fun, is mandibles. We have a 3. I forget what this one's called, but I like it because it can be used in a variety of ways. I like with mandibles you only get 3 options. You still have your weight distribution and your angle change, but you don't have the width. What I'm gonna do with this one is I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna change the weight of it to a little bit. You can't hardly tell, and then I'm gonna extend the length of it a bit, just a tad, well, not just a tad, but you see the angle still works the same. But I'm gonna bring out this a little bit to show you, because it just to increase the scare factor. And now, what I love doing with Spore is adding on things, adding on mandibles upon mandibles, because you can see each particular detail. And there's those 3 options again. I'm going to bring this all the way out, and what I always do with this pair of mandibles is I switch the weight to the top, and to give you that double appearance. And I just think it looks great, especially when you do the calls like this. You can still see the 2 different mandibles, but they all look like one mouth. And then finally I'm gonna, if I can fit this in here, I'm gonna add one more mandible in the middle. So now you've got this entire little thing going on here, and I'm gonna pump out the length a little bit to give you that another scare factor thing. And it's just so much stuff that you can do in Spore with these mouths and things like that. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you adding eyes onto the mouth. Now this is important. This is a good skill to have. I'm gonna take a mouth that I did from my real first Spore video. I'm just gonna take this one, and I'm gonna crank it in all the way and pop out the width and pull in the width. Sorry. And then just to get that definition, I'm gonna throw the weight to the top, and you get this sort of separated appearance from the mouth. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these small black dot eyes, and I'm gonna add them onto each spire, is what I'm gonna call them. And you have this perfect head, this perfect combination of mouth and eye, which gives that real good, that really defined mouth, mouth and things like that. So basically we've just covering the mouth, covering most of the mouth stuff. Just experiment it for yourself, and you'll find out there's tons of things that you can do, more than anything that I could teach you. So stay tuned for more Spore videos, and thanks for watching.